Top right side, there is a Alpha X Protoss. Wearing the blue colors, he is Zoun. His opponent in the bottom right side. Now, I'm gonna double check this just to make sure, but I believe he is still teamless. Right? Am I crazy? Okay, yeah, he is still teamless. Just wanted to make sure, you know, double check the checking. It's a red Zerg, that's something obvious, bit more obvious. He is LEENOCK. Wait, what? It's 0-1 for LEENOCK? Ignore? Okay. What's happening? Alright, well, whatever. We had a probe blocking the natural. Whoever does speak Korean might be able to explain if that ever comes along. We'll see. But for now, I'm assuming that it is 0-0. That would make sense to me, at least. Right, that's how a game of StarCraft 2 normally starts off. Little probe looking around, still checking that natural. I mean, it's a safe place to be for the time being, right? That spawning pool's still a long way from completing. Gotta feel good for Zoun here. I believe he put down a Nexus before the Cyber Core, if I'm not mistaken. Grabbing his double gas here. He's got to be feeling pretty alright with how this is going. Even delaying the third base here, by quite a bit it would appear. Already up to 400 minerals for LEENOCK. LEENOCK gonna... Yep, that is gonna be that probe securely fought off. But spend his money on the 2 queens instead. And a couple more drones. It's no incredibly quick third base there. I wonder why he wanted to spend that money on the queens anyway, right? Like, it must have still been in his mind. He probably still wanted the hatchery. At least that's how I'm reading this. Because he had the money to start the queens. Maybe the spawning pool wasn't done yet. Maybe that's something I missed. That could be the case, but... Anyway, then still, right? Why would you have to drones fight the probe? Maybe try get it on low HP for the Zerglings later on to finish it off. That could be the case. I'm not sure, but still, in my mind's eye, I'm still wondering, or feeling a little bit towards... LEENOCK may have had a little bit of a different way he wanted to open up, and now going for the 2 queens instead. It's not that bad, right? It's not that big of a deal anyway. But, as a Zerg player, can sometimes just kind of, you know, get under your skin. Not getting to start off the exact way you'd like to. Alright, Void Rays will be the choice of units here for Zoun. As LEENOCK already starting to prepare for a Stargate. Building up a couple of Spore Crawlers here. Before you even saw the Void Ray. Now, there is going to be an Oracle follow-up, so this is good. These Spore Crawlers mostly just, you know, a great way to make sure you're safe against these types of weird, quick Oracle plays, or even Dark Templar as well, right? Let's not make the mistake that we just assume that our opponent won't make TT or flying units and then just run the course from there. A lot of droning happening now for LEENOCK though. It's going to be able to get that economy rolling pretty quickly. Zoun gonna try to keep himself up in that work account here as well, with a third base coming up afterwards, the second Stargate coming in as well. And we see a Roach Warren being built for LEENOCK. Now, no real attempt for a fourth base just quite yet. Let's keep an eye out on how many Overlords he's producing in particular. Because sometimes you could still see something like this suddenly transform into a Roach Queen all in. Especially with how many Queens we're seeing on that production tab right now. And those, yeah, this is looking very much like there is going to be a wave of aggression coming in for LEENOCK here. The Void Race, I believe, may have caught wind of this potential here. Moving back across the map right now. Wanna be ready for when the attack does come in, of course. Still looking around. Now seeing in the middle here. Okay, those Void Rays sticking around a little bit longer. Maybe not really that aware of something coming his way. It's only now he's putting down the shield batteries and the cannons. Good warp in on his natural base. Won't be allowing anything, just clean access right there. Is this still enough time for those static defenses to come into play, though? The Queens, they are incredibly slow, so that might be the one thing that is going to allow Zoun to get everything completed here. One cannon and almost getting killed off before it's, anything is completed there, but really nothing breaking so far for Zoun. Just in the nick of time being able to get that defensive setup going for himself. Gonna be a little bit careful of the corrosive biles here, and the Queens marching in forwards. Don't want to allow the Queens, all of them, to attack the same target here, of course. Gotta force them to continuously keep moving forwards in order to minimize that DPS. This attack of LEENOCK is far from over. He is just fully committed right now. More Queens are coming in. He's gonna need those Queens or a good bunch of biles landing. But it does seem like the plan has committed towards the other side here. The natural base not really having any defenses so far. Will this damage now coming in be enough for LEENOCK to pay for this massive committed attack right here? There is a fourth base coming in, so I think he realizes he's not going to finish off his opponent. But he can do a bit of damage here, and that is definitely a bit of damage. 20 workers do go down. But is it enough? Because if we look back at the, well, kind of situation that LEENOCK is in right now. Alright, he does get one of the Void Rays, but that's just one of them. They are going to be heading across the map here. Overlords all huddled together. It's going to be difficult for them to be picked off, I suppose. Well, except for that one. And maybe these two. Oh. Well, good thing LEENOCK made extra. He knew this was it was gonna happen eventually. Alright, grabbing this area here. Still nothing really in the way, shape or form of a good mobile army unit that can actually help take out those Void Rays. It's gonna need the lair upgrade for that, of course. But yeah, his anti-air defense is still quite a ways off in his fourth base. Pretty open right now. Those Queens too far away to help out. That's the problem with having all your overlords kind of move away from the area, right? You are incapable of seeing these types of attacks suddenly come in. You don't have the time required anymore to send your Queens over, get the transfuses going and stuff like that. Oh my, is he going to get the lair as well? That would most likely just be GG right then and there. Guess there's no prismatic alignments right now available, so not going to be able to make that work. Still causing quite a bit of trouble here. Still a very low HP base. Now going to go for this one. Does commit to prismatic alignment, but decides against it later on. Seeing the amount of DPS coming out of those Queens. Nice little status trap. Nice pick off on the Queens. Zoun here doing some good multitasking. And LEENOCK going up towards his hive tech right now, off of pretty much a 3-base economy. And yeah, you know what? It's never a good sign when you see the 4th base being taken at the same time for the Zerg as is for the Protoss. So kind of surprised that he goes for the hive tech so quickly here, together with the lurkers. Well then. There goes that plan. GG is called, yeah. Now playing the best game in the universe once more. the blue Protoss player for Alpha X. It is Zoun. And a yet to be teamed up Zerg. He's fighting with the red colors. Looks like he is not in the mood for another hatchery blockaroonie here. And just be so rudely disturbed with his progress. Anyway, makes it all look well and hidden though. You know, doesn't want to give anything away so far. Doing a good job. His name is LEENOCK. Probe does come in for the scout. Needs to make sure that there's no spawning pool being made, and that is exactly what's going on. Now, it's kind of a race against time here. This drone wants to get to the wall in order to stop some sort of a complete wall-off from happening. Alright, he is in the right spot now. Can he actually make this work? I think this is... Okay, there is still 2 openings here. That could be a problem. The drone being a bit of a nuisance. He wants to transform this into a hatchery as well, but... the drone! Oh, the drone goes down. The drone goes down. We'll not be able to keep that door open now. Zella is going to be constructed. Is Chrono Boost available, but he's not even using it. I think he feels very, very safe now without like a proxy hatchery or a drone blocking the wall here or anything like that. He has the Zealot. He has the probes. He has all he needs. To hold on here. He should be able to start saving up for his Nexus now. Fairly comfortably. As long as he doesn't mess up this micro dance, of course. He needs to be careful. Oh, 2 Zealots. Yeah, it's kind of the finishing line there for the Zerglings. No longer will they be able to stick around there. Still an Overlord keeping tabs on what's going on in Zoun space. LEENOCK sees that there's an adept coming along, but you know what? He should have enough to defend against that, right? Should be able to get a reasonable bit of droning going on, but... Well, he'll need it, actually, as well. Still behind on the work account quite severely here. But with the second base, might be able to make up for that fact. Because the second base for Zoun, very late right now. Now in this next phase, we're kind of watching whether or not Zoun will be able to get anything done with these adepts. Even if he doesn't really get any drone kills here, it's still alright just him being on this place. Because now it's just much more of a... Just, you know, a pain for LEENOCK to get himself a third base. Which is probably something he would like to get done. Starting to still drone up pretty heavily here. No new tech available coming in, so... That's the adepts. Make the commitments. 2 drones. Nothing too bad for LEENOCK there. See now with the front door open, will he try to go for that third base here? I would assume so, right? It would have to be. Like, what else is he going for? 2 base Zergling Queen all in? Ah, no. There we go. It's not a thing. As far as I'm aware, Queen Ling all in, not really a thing. What was the first map? Lightshade. We had a Roach Queen attempt to crush Zoun very early on. Didn't quite work out. Anytime, Cynical. Anytime. Stargate's coming up here. The secondary one, of course. Which I already knew. That's why I mentioned it in that sentence right there. Work account still looking a little bit troublesome, you know. Still quite close by. As, well, now we know why. LEENOCK just saving up all those larvae in order to get himself a ton of roaches. Is this the correct way to try and approach this? It might be. It might be for LEENOCK, right? I mean, he knows, like no one else, in what kind of state he is in right now. Where he's at with his play. What he can and cannot get away with. And if he's like, you know what? I'm just going to bank it on this all-in that is available for Zerg right now. It's a very strong all-in. A lot of Protoss just straight up die to this, right? Even the higher up ones. But will Zoun die to this now after already having held it once? Making the infrastructure here, you know what, even cancelling the ones that is a third base, being like, alright, if you just go for my natural, I will just have that extra money available to do another warp in or something like that. The Phoenix are struggling a little bit here with taking out the Queens and the Ravagers. A lot of transfuse helping out in this situation. Only 3 probes have gone down so far, though. As the Biles, okay, they get reasonably well dodged. Is this something you can break as LEENOCK? I don't think so. I'm not seeing anything really going down for Zoun. It's, I see damage from the gateways, like they're taking some damage, but that's about it. LEENOCK is just slowly funneling his units into this slaughter machine, and Zoun is all but happy to accept the Zerg presence that are spilling in one by one. Now the Queen's seemingly mostly out of energy. The Phoenix trying to regenerate some of that shield before they do try to go for another pickoff here. Still losing some of their brethren. Where's the reinforcements for LEENOCK? Is it still coming in? No, he went back to droning. Okay. Fair enough. He went up to a lot of drones, actually. He went back to droning a lot quicker than he did the previous time. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. One of those things where you make it look like something that was going on in the previous game, and then suddenly, you know what? You just pull the rug out from your opponent, or at least that's the hope that is going to happen here. And these Zerglings still getting in, honestly. Maybe this is the time he should have committed, right? Wasn't quite sure if the Phoenix would do better or worse than just Void Race in this situation, but I think I have my answer. Do I have my answer? I'm not even sure. Zoun didn't lose 20 workers. But at the same time, he didn't have as much Zerg to deal with. Interesting. The questions of StarCraft 2 cascading quickly through the mind as we all start to wonder what could have been. If Unit A was Unit B. And Unit B was suddenly a structure like a shield battery. Who knows? Who knows? Alright, so not done yet. More Zerglings are rushing across the map. More Queens together with the Hydralisk. Those Zerglings, they have free entry into the probe lines here. There are shield batteries available in the natural, but the main base not so lucky. So that's where the Void Race prioritize their defense. 8 probes so far have gone down. Now the third base also in a bit of trouble. It looks like Zoun may have not anticipated a follow-up like this. Will he have the air dominance here powerfully enough to take out the Queens and the Hydralisk combined? Zergling still making it very difficult for the Phoenix and the Void Race to take the fight when they, you know, really would like to, before these Queens get into a devastating arc around whatever it is they're attacking. Still a bit of a conga line going on here. Those Zerglings, they are denying all sorts of mining in the main base. There's no shield batteries here just quite yet, so these Queens having a whale of a time. Shield battery does come in to help at the final seconds. Where's the rest of Zoun's army? Probes. Mineral walk, probes, come on, do it. There we go. That's the damage. Ah. Probe justice. Okay. It's always fun to see, isn't it? That's a pretty cool attack there from LEENOCK. Not gonna lie, especially with how he's setting up the rest of this game here, right? It doesn't feel like he's completely committed with these attacks. They are just quite strong attacks that have some committal in there, but then very quickly after making the bulk of the attack, he just goes back into droning and tries to get himself ready and set up to be able to actually make another meaningful attack come towards his opponents. And there we go. Here, once again, it's just Hydralisk. There was no time to make Sentry, Source Storm, or anything to really deal with them just quite yet. So there's only the Void Rays and a shield battery, to be fair. Gotta wait for that to charge out, and then might be able to take this fight again with these Hydralisks starting to take out probes. That's pretty good, lowering the Void Ray numbers once again. I'd say that LEENOCK looking pretty darn good in this one. Might be able to just grab himself the victory points here. LEENOCK question mark. Oh my. It's like, how did you lose? How did you lose making Void Rays? I hear they're busted right now. Well, I'm not sure. Zoun, that's not nice, LEENOCK. That is not nice. But it does entertain us, the viewers, so... Man, this is a very nice, nicely played game so far. I mean, is this still throwable for LEENOCK? Maybe? Maybe? There's Vipers now, that is... I mean, like, what? How bad do you have to play at this point? Yeah. GG is called. If you were, you know, genetically defected in a way, right? I'm not sure if you could call it a defect, but just a mutation, which does give you a third arm or even a tentacle, right? And then you start playing video games. That, in theory, right, it should still give you an advantage just because you have like a third place for like an arm or a hand to set up. As long as you have pretty reasonable control over it, it should be good. Even if it is just one extra button you can press now without having to move your hand. Oh, hey, he did it this time around. Got that third base up. You see? I knew it. That's what he wanted. That is what he wants. He wants that third base before he starts his queens. That does seem to be his build order. I love it when you just make a, like an almost... How do you call it? Just a pure emotional claim, and then, you know what, you get proven to be right. Oh, it feels so great. Gives me so much confidence about all the other emotional claims I'm going to be doing in the future, and then be completely stumped as to why it didn't work out that time around. Can't wait for that to happen. Alright, Roach Warren coming up for LEENOCK. I mean, it is something we've been seeing him do a lot, so... It's a lot earlier this time, though. Not going to be as many queens running in together with the mix here. But we're not going to have any real Void Ray presence either. It's going to be the one Void Ray, perhaps. Maybe a second one about to be ready as we have those roaches coming in. And Zerglings. Do we have queens? We don't really have queens. It's only the one queen build. LEENOCK is skipping most of his queens in order to get more larvae and money and stuff like that. I guess not larvae, because the queens do give more larvae, but just get more stuff in order to start hitting this Protoss as quickly as possible. Now, personally, I'm looking at the top left side. I think this could have an alright shot, as long as he does that thing where he starts building up drones, but as well behind this. But he stopped on 21. It's okay. Well, let's see. Let's see. He might just be able to kill him, right? He needs to kill him, though. That's the thing here. 2 probes. It's not a killing move just quite yet. As the Roach Ravager composition right now is struggling quite a bit. 6 probes have gone down. It's not enough. It's not enough. Nowhere near enough. Needs a lot more. The wall is still being blocked off. Look at that. He made an entire entrapment for every single unit. GG is called down.